Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Gamers. And if you watched our Nintendo Fanboys episode, you will have heard all of Steven and my comments on the new Zelda. Short version, it looks awesome. So today what we're going to do is we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft and Sony and just talk about some of the stuff that we like. Now, I want to just lay this all out here. We're not doing recaps. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say like every announcement, every single person made. So if we don't talk about something that interests you, well, sorry, but that's just the way the cookie crisp crumbles, okay? So we're going to start with Microsoft. Basically, what I'd like to do is I just like to talk about Microsoft's conference and Sony's conference and some of the stuff that they talked about. I have paid very little to no attention to any of the other conferences except for the trailer for South Park, what was it? The Fractured Butthole, which looks absolutely awesome. I can't wait for it. So that's it, okay? Those are basically the parameters. So we're going to start with Microsoft. And I watched that trailer like a day after because, long story short, I was in Quebec City, and I just didn't have time. And I watched the conference, and overall, I just want to say, I thought it was probably one of Microsoft's strongest conferences they've ever had. Pretty much the only thing that was missing was like Halo 17, but they did have Halo Wars, so I guess that counts. Now, again, I'm not going to go into every single thing that they discussed, but overall, it was a very strong showing. But there was one thing with that conference that sort of stuck out with me, which was I knew just about every single thing that they spoke about. They didn't actually announce much in terms of, oh, like this is a new game. It was more like, okay, well, we've already spoken about Gears of War 4, but here it is. Well, you already know about Halo Wars 2, but here it is. You guys know about the next Forza Horizon, but here it is. And it was like that throughout the evening. And actually, I think it was morning. But anyway, whatever. I'm not knocking it, not at all. Just saying that I don't want to say it lacked the wow factor for me, but it's just, I wasn't very surprised. Like, I got more shock from the Zelda trailer than I did from most of Microsoft's conference. So, some of the things. One thing I just want to touch upon briefly is, well, they did it. New hardware is official. I think we all knew that a slim version of the Xbox One was going to come out. I mean, I don't know anybody who thought, no, they're not going to remodel. We pretty much knew this. Like Steven said in a text to me yesterday or the day before, he's like, I've known Kinect was dead since they haven't released, like, really a Kinect game in forever now. And if you remove that, you remove a lot of the multimedia features, and you remove this, and you remove that, and blah, 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 well, you basically have a very tiny box, and that's pretty much what they've done. So the Xbox One S is essentially that. It will allow for some 4K Blu-ray playback, I believe it is, or at least 4K video playback. I'm not entirely certain if that's Blu-ray or not. But either way, it's a much, much smaller system. And if you're a hardcore Xbox One player and you find that your Xbox One is kind of bulky and you don't use Kinect, because out of the box it won't support Kinect, you got to buy like a little dongle, USB dongle, in order to use it. Then maybe the S is for you. What was it? Do you know? I think it starts at $250. Does it not?
I have no clue. All I've seen is that the images, and also today, I didn't read the article, but I saw a title that said that it had stronger GPU and, what's the other, CPU, whatever. Apparently it's going to be a bit stronger than the current Xbox One, which I don't believe was mentioned in the conference.
No, it was not mentioned. But doesn't surprise me, because they said that it could output 4K video. That doesn't really surprise me. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I would imagine that it would be a very slight boost, if you know what I mean. Now they opened their conference with that, and they closed their conference with Project Scorpio, which was essentially the next Xbox. And I think it's really interesting. There were a couple of takeaways I have, and I'm going to jump all over the place. Steven, if you want to go in order, well, sorry. But Project Scorpio is essentially their next huge, system. It's not an Xbox 1.5 because it's going to be able to output 6 teraflops. Now, what the hell does that mean? Well, basically, that's around the equivalent of like a GTX 970, I think it is. So basically, a very high-end graphics card. Now, granted, this is going to be coming out holiday of 2017, meaning it'll be like the mid-range PC level by the time it actually gets released. But that doesn't matter. It's still a significant upgrade. It's about 3 times more powerful, maybe even up to 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. So this really is like the Xbox 2, if you know what I mean. They're not calling it a generational gap or difference or whatever. They are saying it is now part of the Xbox platform. And that's very, very interesting because they're positioning this different than what I thought Sony was going to do with the Neo. See, with the Neo, we were talking about, that potentially they were going to have these things that coexisted and this and that and everything else. And we weren't entirely sure, or at least I wasn't entirely sure, how that was going to play out. But Microsoft made a very interesting program called Play Anywhere, I think it is, or Play Everywhere, or something like that, where basically all first-party games, let's just say it, are going to be released on Xbox One and PC, and if you buy the Xbox One version, you get the PC version. If you buy the PC version, you automatically get the Xbox One version. So what they're doing there is they're saying, you know what, guys, we now have PC and Xbox as one unified platform. So you know what? Yeah, you got your Xbox One, you got your Xbox One S, and you got your Project Scorpio, whatever it ends up being called. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. It is a platform, much like if we were to use the iPhone. So if you buy a game on your iPhone, you can play it on any one of those devices, and it will get better and better the newer or stronger device you have. And it seems to me that that is exactly what Microsoft is doing here. So they're going to establish a brand new platform moving forward. Some people are going to absolutely love this, and I can see some people absolutely hating this. But to me, I am very intrigued by this. I know a lot of my hardcore Xbox One fans are supremely pissed off in one sense because they look at it that they just lost every single exclusive they ever had. Why would I buy an Xbox One now? I'll just buy a PC like I already have and soup it up. But to me, like Steven's mentioned in the past, it is an exclusive. It's a console exclusive. And if anything, by doing this move, you now have brought a whole whackload of people into the mix. Let's take the new Forza Horizon. It's really cool. You can play that on your PC locally. This is I'm not talking about streaming or anything like that. I'm talking about having a native version built for your computer, and you can play via Xbox Live with everyone else who's on an Xbox One. On S, Project Scorpio, doesn't matter. And you're all going to be able to play together. I think that really is the future. I do. I think we're getting very close to what I envision as the future of gaming, where all these devices are connected in some way. And this could really pay off in a really big way. But it's gonna be so important that Microsoft releases quality games. See, the big problem Microsoft has is they don't release quality PC games, or at least they haven't in the past. And if that continues, it could destroy this entire thing and backfire in a huge way. So there's a lot of different things to talk about here. I don't actually, believe it or not, I don't have much to say about their games that they announced at this year's show, because every single game I had already known about. There was nothing that I was like, oh my god, I didn't know about that, I didn't know about that. Halo Wars 2 looks great, Forza Horizon looks good, Dead Rising, which is, I guess I could say, like, that was a surprise, but it got leaked early, damn it. And it looks goofy. Frank West is coming back, and it's going to be a blast, I'm sure. It's going to be great. What else do we have? Gears of War 4. It looks more of the same, to be honest, which is not a bad thing. I'll be stuck in a minecart for an hour and a half. But just overall, they had a really, really strong show. But I don't know if people quite realize how big of an announcement that I think it's called Play Anywhere, how big of an announcement that is, and why, when they announced the Project Scorpio, that is a really big deal. And it's not a big deal like, oh, well, if I own a regular Xbox, I'm kind of screwed. Well, no, not the way they announced this, no, because Xbox is no longer going to be a console. Xbox is now going to be a full-fledged platform, and like I say, that might actually be the smartest thing they've ever done. And the other thing with Project Scorpio is that they're saying that it's going to most likely, like 90%, that Oculus Rift is going to be the headset that will be used with that, and that could be very smart, that Microsoft doesn't have to worry about VR. Just use a pre-existing VR, and since it works with PC, et voila, you have your perfect cycle, you know what I mean? Like, it can work on PC, it can work on your Xbox One, and hey, look at that. We Play Anywhere, guys. We're cool. So, sorry I went on for a little bit. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. The only thing I have to add to the Microsoft part is that we now know why Sony did not show the Neo at E3. Like, they're probably going back to their drawing board on this, and they're saying, screw this, we have to actually make a new Neo, because the Neo they had is not even close to being as powerful as Project Scorpio. And that's pretty much why Sony's been quiet about the Neo so far, because they've actually confirmed it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's got a lot to do with what I said. I think it's got to do with the fact that the way Sony was going to do this was going to be like, well, PCs get stronger, so, we got to keep up. But with the way Microsoft announced this, and I mean, guys, I can be totally wrong. A lot of this is speculation on my part, but I really see them moving away from Xbox as a standalone console and saying, no. Xbox is no longer just that one box you buy every 4 years. Xbox is a platform. It's an iPhone. It's the next Droid. You have your PC, you have your super PC, you have your cheap PC. It's all good, guys. Don't worry about it. We got you covered. And you got your console, your graphics whore, you buy that Scorpio. Oh, you got a regular Xbox One? We got you covered. Your games, they work every single place, every single where, like everywhere. You're good to go. You buy one copy, it works absolutely everywhere on every single device. Yeah, it might not look as good, it might not be as strong, this, that, and everything else, but the fact that it plays on every single device is the kicker. That's the thing that Sony doesn't have. So if Sony comes out and says, like, oh, well, we got our device and it's a little bit better, and we're going to try and follow the PC model, I don't know if that's going to work. And the fact, like you said, this is so much stronger, man. It's like way stronger. I can just see Andrew House and those guys going, whoa, we need to rethink this, especially with the PC push. That's a game changer, guys. Even if you don't play PC games, you got to acknowledge that this has the potential to be a really big game changer.
All right, so I think we can move on to the Sony portion, because the Sony portion I actually watched most of it. Basically, it was on Monday. I played softball on Monday, and I arrived at the house around 9:05, and I quickly turned my phone on and started the conference. It was already at the end of the God of War trailer. So I did not see the God of War trailer. I only see the end where he's basically showing his son that he needs to finish off an elk of some kind for some reason, and you see he almost wants to comfort him, and then he brings his hands back and he can't do it. Apparently it's a very, very different Kratos. It looks like they've really tweaked his character, and it seems to be a reboot of the franchise. It seems that the other God of War games are not there, but I heard that the Kratos from those games actually makes an appearance in that. So I'm not sure. You saw the whole trailer, probably, so you can probably elaborate on that a bit better than I. But I just want to quickly go through the games that I remember seeing there. Next up, I believe, was Sony Ben's game, and it was Days Gone, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I actually, a lot of people are really looking forward to that, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun game, but for some reason, it did not hook me in. Probably because I played Last of Us, and I really love Last of Us, and this is definitely not Last of Us, and that's a good thing. But it's just that when you saw the gameplay demo at the end there, you could, like, it almost like the AI was turned off because the guy was running past the zombies and nothing was happening. So it's gonna be interesting. Maybe when I get my hands on it, maybe I'll change my mind because most people seem to believe that it is a fantastic game. So we'll see. Definitely look good though. Next was Horizon, which I've been hearing tons about Horizon, and I've never actually seen gameplay from it. I had no idea what it is because I don't really follow much trailers or gameplay news besides Nintendo because I'm a huge
fanboy.
Yeah. So unless it's Pokemon or Zelda, I'm probably not gonna watch much. But I've been hearing the guys at Kind of Funny talk about Horizon all the time and how amazing it's gonna be. And again, I was a bit underwhelmed, but then I rewatched their impressions, and it's an open world game. So right there, I'm not really that interested in it. But then again, Zelda is an open world game, so I'm a complete liar. But the one thing that's intriguing is that they seem to be going back to the Stone Age because the machines apparently can hack anything, which I don't think makes much sense, but it seems pretty cool. The visuals are definitely awesome. And then, of course, Resident Evil 7, kick-ass. Unfortunately, my phone stopped working when that demo started. I just quickly refreshed and got right back to I saw the 7 logo, and right there I knew it was Resident Evil 7. Pretty cool that they're calling it Biohazard. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to play this one because it looks like PT and it looks creepy as hell, but we'll see. Then I'm skipping over some stuff, obviously, that I forgot, but something random, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, the Lego game, which I'm probably going to pick up on the Wii. I've been debating, and I saw that trailer, and it looks awesome. Then Crash Bandicoot, obviously, remastered. I thought whatever, because the Crash Bandicoot games are fun, but I think they're a bit overrated, in my opinion. I would have preferred a new one, but we'll see. If these sell well, we'll probably get a new one. Besides that, I skipped over probably, in my opinion, the best trailer I have ever seen in my life, which was Detroit, whatever the name of the game is called. The new game from the makers of Heavy Rain. It's
Detroit Becoming Human or something like that.
I think that's the best trailer I've ever seen. Like, the way I had never seen any footage of that game. I knew it existed. I knew it was from the Heavy Rain Beyond Two Souls guys, but besides that, that's all I knew. And I saw the trailer, and it completely explained the game perfectly and made you want to play it at the same time. Like, the number of different scenarios that were there was awesome, because they start with the android, like, throwing himself and killing the girl, which is, like, super dramatic and super sad, and then you can see that there's a lot more different outcomes possible there. And I thought that was just probably one of the best designed trailers I've ever seen. And probably my favorite and most anticipated non-Nintendo game came near the end, which was Spider-Man. I have heard rumors before that the Sucker Punch were working on a new Spider-Man game, but it turned out to be Insomniac, and it also makes perfect sense because I don't know if you've played Sunset Overdrive. Actually, I know that you did. It's an amazing game, and it's an open world game. There's lots of swinging, and it was fantastic. Lots of fun. So these guys will make one heck of a Spider-Man game, and the fact that it's exclusive means that it will have quality, and it's probably been in development for years. I can't wait for that game. That's probably is my most anticipated PlayStation 4 game right now, is Spider-Man. That game's gonna rock. And the costume was kick-ass. I don't know where it was from. It was just amazing. And having seen Civil War twice already. I can tell you that my hype for Spider-Man stuff is through the roof. So that's about it. I used to watch E3 conferences like maybe 5 years ago when I was still a huge dork and didn't have a kid to distract myself from video games. And usually conferences are a lot more boring than that, because usually Sony especially, I've always told you that, but they used to basically spend at least 30 minutes in the conference high-fiving each other, basically blowing each other off on stage, and I'm surprised they did not do that this year, because they sold like a billion, gazillion, like PlayStation 4. The stage, like I thought they would at least like show off a bit. They did not. All they did was trailer, reveal, trailer. It was amazing. I love the flow. I did not watch the Microsoft conference, but I heard it was also pretty good. So, like, I'm really surprised by how entertaining conferences are these days. It wasn't like that back in my day, at least.
Yeah, Sony's really raised the bar in the last, 2 to 3 years. Ever since they announced the PlayStation 4, I find that things have changed quite a lot for conferences. On all accounts, this isn't just Sony, but I found that all that high-fiving and stuff like that is really taking a back seat now to the gamer. And this is very evident in when you see, I think it's called the PlayStation Experience. It happens, it's been happening, I think, for the last 2 or 3 years or whatever it is. Towards the end of the year, they've done a really good job. So kudos to everyone, really, because truly this year, everyone had a phenomenal conference. It's just been great. The flow has been phenomenal. I'll try and do a recap like you did. I think you did a really good job with that. Okay, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, just, again, things that, I thought were cool or whatnot. But I also have a few omissions that I thought were surprising, but then maybe not. Gran Turismo was a no-show, and that, 5 years ago, that never would have happened. But Sony was smart. They released its own, event for Gran Turismo. And you know that's going to sell 5-6 million units no matter what. So why spend valuable time at your conference? The other thing is, I like the fact that the conference wasn't overly long. And yeah, there was some stuff on VR, but for me, it's hard to get excited for VR when I haven't tried it. I am very excited for Resident Evil, though. Holy crap, am I excited for that.
Jump in 2 seconds here. And
sure.
I just realized I forgot about The Last Guardian, but that's probably because I don't give a crap about that game. I actually experienced VR, and man, you're gonna have to buy me VR when it comes out, man. You're gonna have.
Well, where did you try that?
I did not try PlayStation VR. What I tried was a super duper cheap VR experience. My friend basically has a phone, like everybody. He bought a cheap VR knockoff on Amazon. I think it was less than $100, and he showed me a Marvel video using a VR headset, and man, it was amazing, and it was a super cheap setup. So I just cannot imagine how it will feel to actually play PlayStation VR or Oculus Rift or all that stuff. So I really want that now, but obviously I cannot afford to spend another $500 and stuff like that. But man, I've tried VR, it's amazing, and it was just a knockoff experience. So I can't imagine the real deal.
Well, we'll see what happens at Christmas. Santa Claus has been quite nice to you over the years.
That's true.
We'll see what happens. I'm not making any promises. That way you can't tell me I'm a liar. Damn it. So where the hell was I? Okay, let me just go back. So I was saying about Gran Turismo. I know I was talking about Resident Evil and stuff, but I want to touch base on one other thing. I really, really enjoyed Gravity Rush. I think it's called Gravity Days in Japan. And that was on the PlayStation Vita, and they brought it over to the PlayStation 4, which I picked up a copy of that. Just really big fan of that. I really enjoyed that. And I was a little sad that no time at all, not even a trailer, was shown for Gravity Rush 2. It's kind of being buried, and it's a little sad because it's a a really unique, fun Japanese like inspired game made by Japan Studio. So I was a little disappointed with that. I was kind of hoping for something, but I mean, let me begin here. So I'm not going to mention anything on Final Fantasy 15. I can't believe they're still showing it. The game comes out. If you want it by now, you know all about it. Microsoft that was one part of Microsoft's conference that I was like, okay, could we please hurry up? Because they were showing a playthrough of like a demo of that. And at this point in time, like, you know, you either want to buy it or you don't. We don't need to hype this game any more than it's already been hyped. And so I was really happy that Sony just very, very quickly showed that, oh, there's VR support, and apparently it's terrible. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of VR experiences that are just garbage because they're like shoehorned in, sort of like with a lot of games on the Wii, you know, where they added the Wiggle stuff, or on PlayStation Move, same deal. Oh, well, because it has the ability, throw it in. So you can expect a lot of very garbage VR stuff to pop up, but the games that are designed for it, I think, have the potential, like Steven was saying, to be really special. I do have mine on pre-order. I did manage to pre-order one now, because I want to experience this. That's the truth. I really do. I have no idea if we'll be able to capture footage or anything like that. But I really want to experience this. This, to me, is very, very exciting. And the fact that Resident Evil 7, and now I'll jump back to Resident Evil 7, the fact that that is going to fully support PlayStation VR is very exciting. Now, just so you guys know, when they first saw the trailer to that, I liked the song that was playing and everything. I was like, this looks freaking awesome. And then when the logo comes up and it's Roman numerals 7 and then Resident Evil, I was like, shut the front door. Like, it was really, really awesome. And then the real surprise, PS4 demo coming tonight. I was like, oh my God. And since when I watched this, tonight was the next day, I was like, giddy up, baby. So I downloaded that, played it right away. And a lot of people are saying they're very upset by the direction the series is taken. It's first person, it's this, it's that, it's everything else. But what I keep trying to tell people is no one is talking about the game right now. All they're talking about, and when I'm saying they, I'm talking about Capcom. And yes, there's been developer interviews where someone said this or someone said that. But guys, look, here, seriously, it's like the PT demo. The PT demo was designed to basically be like a test to show you guys where Konami wanted to take the game. Well, more like Kojima Productions, which I'll get to in a second. And I think Resident Evil, this demo, I forget what it's called, like Before Night or Pre-Night or First Night or something like that. Its whole purpose is that. So you can't judge Resident Evil 7 on this because it's not even in the game. It's like The Kitchen. The Kitchen, now we find out, is part of Resident Evil 7, which was a VR experience apparently that was petrifying. And so, you know, these are just elements that Capcom is going for with this new game. So before anyone knocks anything, or even before you start, you know, like overloading with praise and compliments, I would ask everyone to just take a step back, play the demo, experience the demo for yourself. If you like it, you don't like it, that's fine, but that's a demo. Let's wait until like Tokyo Game Show or things like that where we start to see a little bit more of Resident Evil 7 itself. And I loved, just like Steven said, I loved that it's called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and in Japan it's called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. I thought that's so cool. Like, they're finally, you know, like, bringing it back. Like, here we go. We're going to make you a creepy game again. And whether it's first person, third person, VR only, you know, I don't give a flying rat's ass. I loved the original Resident Evil because it was different. It tried to do something different to scare people. And if this one is trying to do the same thing, then I am all for it, first person or not. But again, we don't know. We don't know anything. You've got a demo that's a conceptual demo talking about what they're trying to do with the game, which is to basically scare the bejesus out of you again. And so far, it's working. Okay, so God of War, really quick. Really like what they're doing. A lot of backlash from hardcore fans saying, what the hell is this? It's not the same voice actor. You've got, you've got gameplay that's like crazy. This isn't Kratos. What the hell? Blah, 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 blah. What I love about it is games today are something else. AAA games today require all kinds of, bells and whistles and this and that. And I like what they're doing. Look, Kratos was a one-dimensional character. Let's be honest. After God of War 1 and 2, the series was kind of ridiculous. God of War 3, yes, that was a great game. And, he finally, the gods of Olympus were gone. But then they started all these other games, and it just got out of control. It was like, okay, well, is he going to go after Santa Claus next? What the hell? And this, it's like, no, let's ground the character. So those God of Wars that you played, they exist. They are part of this universe. It's just whether or not Old Man Kratos, which is what it looked like, whether or not he is Kratos, who knows? I haven't paid enough attention to all of this. But it's like, I think it's going to be. I think this is going to be one and the same, whether or not people have said something else. I think they're going to incorporate all of this, but it's going to be a very story-driven game. The whole game you play with your child, and apparently one of the action buttons on the controller is directly there so that you can interact with your kid. And I actually really like that because they're doing something different. They're going to make that character interesting, that you actually care about them or that you despise them or you whatever. And I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm asking everybody that is on the fence, let's just give this a chance. Let's wait and see what happens here because this has the potential to be really special. Now, again, I don't want to talk about everything, but one thing that really surprised me with Sony's conference was just that, was I was surprised a lot. Like God of War. I knew God of War was coming, and I had heard the rumors of the Norse mythology and stuff like that, but I had no idea that they were going to completely change the gameplay, completely change the narrative and the focus, and so that blew me away. The Last Guardian, you either are into this or you're not. I am a fan of Team Ico, so I'm certainly going to check it out. I was surprised that this is going to be their big holiday release. I didn't see that coming at all, but I guess in retrospect, what else are they going to release? Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm probably the opposite of Steven. This is actually their Mass Effect. I don't know if you're even aware of that, Steven. This is a giant action RPG, loads of RPG elements. You've got dialogue branches that lead to changes in the story and all kinds of stuff. The more I see of this game, the more I'm getting excited for it. Very much looking forward to that one. Kojima, when he came out, that was a surprise because I was like, what the hell can he possibly show? He just left Konami. And it was just, one little trailer starring Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead fame. And it's classic Kojima, looks really, really messed up. We don't know anything about the game, but that was a surprise. I didn't expect to see anything. I thought he was just going to come out and be like, hi everyone, I'm so cool, see you next year, sort of deal. You're right, what you said about Detroit Become Human, looks great, phenomenal trailer, really, really enjoyed it. Got nothing else to say on that one, looking forward to it next year. Days Gone, kind of on the fence, big fan of Sony Ben, but I'm kind of on the fence because it looks like you're playing World War Z, so I don't know, we'll see. Or Zed, depending on where you live. So yeah, I already mentioned the VR stuff. We'll see the Crash Bandicoot and Lego Star Wars, cool, but I was never a giant Crash fan. The remakes are going to be interesting, but I don't think they could have, like Steven said, you said that, maybe it would have been cool with a new game. I don't think they could have actually done a new game now. I think Crash has been dead for too long. I think this is actually the only thing they can do. They're going to remaster the games exclusively for PS4 and see how that goes. If they sell a lot, then maybe they'll make another one and go from there. I'm not a giant fan of Crash, though, so we'll see. And lastly, it was the big surprise for me was Spider-Man. I had heard the rumors, too, of a Spider-Man game getting announced, but I know the world we live in. And I did not at all expect Insomniac to be the one to make a PlayStation 4 exclusive version of Spider-Man. And that alone, I was shocked. I was like, what? And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, holy crap, this looks freaking awesome. So all around, like I said before, I think Microsoft had a really good press conference. I truly do. I think it was a nice, strong press conference. But I just wasn't surprised. And with Sony's, I'm not one of these like giant fanboys here, like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever, man. I just think I like the fact that I was surprised. That's the thing that like I like the most. And what I took away from this was, man, what's going to happen at TGS and what's going to happen at the PlayStation Experience later this year, because Sony does this every year now, the PlayStation Experience, and they always announce new games. And if we already have a lineup like that, my goodness, what else is in the pipeline? And I think that about sums it up for me.
No, you're right. Sony seems to have the best gaming lineup of 2017. I just want to quickly mention that I forgot about Kojima-san, simply because like that game doesn't really matter. That's a 2019 game. He doesn't have anything in the game. That's a trailer reveals nothing because it is nothing. It's cool to see Norman Reedus. Obviously, they were working together on TP, I believe, or PT.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's good to see them back. But that's about it. And I think I'm done for today.
Okay. So Elliot's he's chiming in here. So that's pretty much. What was that?
He wants the iPad, but if I give him to him, he's going to hang up. It's going to be the first thing he does. He's going to press on that red button there.
Of course,
so sexy.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up then. So guys, what did you think of E3? This is the last one we're going to do for this. So if you tell us about Microsoft or Sony, just talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Let us know what. Are you saying hello? Let us know what you think. And as always, as Steven coined the term many, many moons ago, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Bye.